Okay, um, this is going to be a science post, a science video. I was reading a story where basically a couple days ago the Hubble Space Telescope had captured an image. It was released this week by NASA. Basically, it was showing that the birth of a star, an infant star that was born. I can't remember. It's got a long ass name, but I remember it's about 2,500 light years away. It was born in a cloud of golden gas and dust. It was in the Circinus molecular cloud complex. This is known as one of the most prominent of the star-forming regions. Well, I saw the pictures and wow. It was one of the best ones I've seen yet because it had a tail to it, which was basically a protostellar jet. Basically, that's the remnants of the cloud that gave birth to the star. For those who don't know, stars are born when a gas cloud collapses upon its own gravity. And when it collapses in, it forms a hot core. Not all of the material from the cloud gets pulled into it, and those remnants start to develop orbits. And those are what eventually become planets, asteroids, and whatnot. A lot of it will get burned up, but that's functionally how solar systems are born. The fact that we witness this, it just shows that even in a time when a lot of pessimism is overcoming our world, our nations, and so on, and a lot of things seem focused around destruction and technological advances that are making the world kind of shrink in upon itself. We can look outward and see that new creation is occurring. It's almost, Star Trek had it right when they call it a new frontier. There's nowhere left really in the world to explore. Until we go to the ocean's bottom, Earth is becoming a known variable. This just shows that there's still stuff out there to be explored, and as we start to develop more and more technology, if we don't destroy ourselves or suck our world to the point of its own death and therefore our extinction, we will eventually be able to develop space flight that will involve manned space flight over a long distance to the point where man can survive it and witness it. It makes me very optimistic. It shows that there's something else out there and that maybe there's a new beginning for mankind if we've screwed this one up. What was originally once this beginning, if we screw this up, there's something else out there. It also shows that if things can be created, anything's possible, and the law of averages say there are going to be other planets out there that have the critical combination that will support life. Let me start with life as we know it. Life as we know it involves certain temperatures, a certain degree of water, a certain degree of chemicals. Well, not chemicals, elements. That when they come together, it is possible to sustain and create life. And this doesn't cover what we don't know. I am sure that there are other forms of life, maybe forms of life we can't conceive of, that can exist under other circumstances. It just goes to show that it's very unlikely that we are alone in the universe. This isn't to say that I'm one of the nut jobs that believe that aliens are amongst us and aliens have been visiting us and such. We're not having a they live situation. Although, if we did, I'd be the one who would try to emulate Roddy Piper and walk in someplace and do my favorite line of all time, which is it's a given. I'm here for two reasons: to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. I love that line. But it just shows everything can be created, everything can be recreated, and nature, if you want to call it that, evolution, you can call it, there's various names you can give to it, show that it's happening. And this is where I think we need to look outward. We need to look inward to fix stuff politically, structurally, economically, infrastructure-wise. But when it comes to the future, we should be looking outward. We should be looking at getting off this planet. Much like when they say, when you come of age, you should travel outside of your towns and your cities, and you should go visit other things. It's time for us to visit other planets. It's time for us to get out there and find out what's there. Find out what's habitable. If this means we're going to have to start stretching out and building space stations, so be it. At some point, we're going to have to cover the cost of that in order to promote and procreate, to keep our species viable, and to stave off extinction. That's my science lesson for today. So here endeth the lesson. And I'll figure out what my next one's going to be on. Take it easy.